Yes, people, Champions League football is back at this place, St James's Park, next season. And this is scoring the players on a weird scenario that we're being beaten, yet we're happy. Because Man United have beaten Aston Villa, which means that Newcastle will qualify for the Champions League. Have. Get it right, Lee. As you can see, we have this beautiful scenery behind us. So I'm just in Lees's Park as I'm mixing up a few things towards the end of the season, different locations around the ground. But this is scoring the players. Let's get cracking, everybody. Drop us a massive like if you disagree, agree with some of the comments. You know what to do. Get them in there. Nick Pope, high 8 for me. He kept it in the game for large periods of the match, to be honest with you. First half, 2-3 saves. Second half, 1 or 2. So he'll come out the game with a lot of credit, and his form towards the end of the season actually been high. He's probably a little bit unlucky not to be in that England side, to be honest with you. But yeah, he kept us in the game, which is worrying considering our goalkeeper scoring high at home. That just goes to show you how well Everton created chances despite having less of the ball. Wing back system, of course, Eddie Howe went with. We'll go right wing back, Jacob Murphy, who I thought struggled a little bit. I'm going to score him a 6. I would have liked to see him more going forward. I just didn't see enough of it, in particular second half, and obviously the substitution, he was hooked, wasn't he? But yeah, I would like to see more of that. But another one probably a little bit unfortunate not to be at least in Thomas Tuchel's England squad. So the 6 for me for Jacob Murphy. Fabian Schär, who obviously picked up a yellow card because of Jacob Murphy. If you remember, Jacob Murphy would give the ball away and Fabian Schär had taken one for the team towards the end of that first half. So he picked up a yellow card because of that, because of more or less he hasn't got the pace, and Jacob Murphy's left him one short there. But I think he did all right. I'm going to score him a 7. I didn't think he was massively at fault for anything. Again, by the way, I haven't seen the goals back, so I could be saying this, and one of the defenders might be at fault because I haven't seen the replays back or anything yet. But judging on that, his performance today at a 7, he was playing at right centre back. Sven Botman, who I thought in parts, especially first half, a little bit sloppy, but he did okay. I don't think it's as high as Fabian Schär. I'm going to score him a 6, and obviously he was substituted later for a tactical change. Of course, that's probably planned as well, to be honest with you. But Sven Botman a 6. Dan Burn is going to be another one who's going to score pretty high. I thought, again, initially at first, I thought he struggled a little bit, but then he grew into the game. He's probably, is he a contender for outfield? I go on, then I'm going to be nice. I'm going to score him an 8. And I thought he was absolutely fantastic and deserves his contract. He deserves his contract again. What a performance. Again, another one who's actually in the England side. But yeah, I'm going to score Dan Burn. I thought he was brilliant today. His battle, and especially with his battle with Beto in particular, was fascinating to watch. So I thought he'd done well, especially second half. Left wing back, Tino Livramento, who had 3 different positions to play today. He was left wing back, and then he was right back, and he was moved to left back. But I thought, again, going forward, that dribble in the first half in particular was class, wasn't it? I'm going to score him again an 8. Another one who's probably unlucky. He is unlucky not to be in that England side. Looks brilliant at left back, and credit to him because we haven't really missed Lewis Hall, you know. So credit to Tino Livramento going forward, man. Just brilliant, man. What a player we've got there. What a signing. And everyone raised 1 or 2 eyebrows when we signed for an injured player who hasn't played much game. But what was it, 35 million or something like that? But worth every penny of that. So there's your back 5. We'll go to the 4 midfield. We'll start off Anthony Gordon. If you remember at Goodison Park, he missed. Well, he didn't miss. He had the penalty saved by Jordan Pickford and 0-0 draw. We haven't scored against Everton this season, which is worrying. His form hasn't been good. And I think the end of the season's come at a good time for him and probably Alexander Isak. It just wasn't for me. He got, 45 minutes. And then Joe Willock came on for him. I thought he struggled big time going forward. I'm going to score him a 5. I just didn't see enough of it. And I thought he might be a little bit more up for it against his former side today. But for me, just not enough end product, sloppy in possession. You're up against a 40-year-old. Take him on, run at him. Running the same as Harvey Barnes at times as well. Running him. But yeah, there you go. 5 for me. Sandro Tonali, I love his energy. I love his stamina. Yes, he's nice on the ball and he's just all round just class, isn't he? I don't think it's his best performance, but he was just brilliant, man. Getting his foot in everywhere. I'm going to score him an 8 out of 10 for me. even though we got beat, I thought he was still the better of the midfielders for me. So an 8 out of 10 for Sandro Tonali. Bruno, not as high, but I'm going to score him a 7. I want to see more Bruno going forward, taking ownership of attacking play, because we didn't have that today. Why is it that we always film? We've got ambulances scanning off. Yes, they're now next to the RVI, but ours seem to happen whilst we're filming. But Bruno Guimaraes is a 7 for me. Captain, yeah, brilliant. 7, I thought. When I look at Everton, I didn't think Everton dominated centre midfield. I thought Everton were just really good on the counter. So 7 for me, but I wanted to see more of them taking the game, the scruff of their neck, and have a shot sometimes. You don't have to play all these pretty little balls into the box. Have a shot. My arm's killing. Have a shot occasionally. And then Harvey Barnes, again, another one who played in a couple of positions. One thing that Harvey Barnes is doing that Anthony Gordon isn't, is Barnes will go at the defender. He will run at you. Sometimes it might ricochet, it might go back to the opposition. Sometimes he'll get a bit of luck. Sometimes he'll have a bit of quality. But he's prepared to do that. He's prepared to take that risk. He's doing a little bit more than Anthony Gordon at the moment. Look, I don't think it's loads, but he's doing a bit more. So I'm going to knock him up one more than Anthony Gordon. I'm going to score him a 6 out of 10 for me. And then that leaves Alexander Isak, who didn't get much of a kick, to be honest with you. Initially a lone man, and then he was moved towards the left later on the game as Newcastle were trying to get back for the equaliser. I think he struggled. I think it's, as I said before, it's a good time for the end of the season. I didn't see enough of Alexander Isak. Not a great performance. I'm scoring him a 5 out of 10. That might be a bit harsh, but I'm trying to be realistic at the same time. And this is the beauty about scoring the players, because you can agree and disagree, but for me, just wasn't enough there. And then we'll move to the substitutes. The first one was Joe Willock, who got 45 minutes. Obviously, Eddie Howe did tweak it with the formation. He was all right. He was bright over on that left centre midfield role. I'll score him a 6 out of 10. And hopefully we'll get the best of Joe Willock next season, because we're going to need him with, obviously, European football, Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, to name a few. So, yeah, big season for him next season, but 6 for Joe Willock. The substitutes, who else was there? Was Callum Wilson. I don't think I'm doing these in order, but anyways, Callum Wilson, who said his goodbyes, and yeah, he was very tearful. So yeah, that video's already gone out, so hopefully you've checked that out. Lone striker, when Isak was moved, didn't get a kick really, did he? Let's be honest. I'll score him a 5 out of 10. Didn't see enough of him, to be honest with you. Right, I'm not gonna lie, there was a wasp there, so I had to pause the recording because that's me phobia. Right, Kieran Trippier, he came on earlier than Wilson, didn't he? But anyway, Kieran Trippier, probably for experience, and he's good to see him back on the squad with his recent injury. Did alright, his leadership was there. Got on the ball occasionally. Didn't really have a massive impact, let's be honest. So for Trippier, I'll score him a 5. I didn't see enough of him, to be honest with you. And then that leaves the last man, Will Osula, who actually is probably the best. In fact, he is the best of the substitutes. I'm going to score him a 7. That might raise one or two eyebrows, but he did more than Jacob Murphy for me going forward, attacking. And now Murphy was a right wing back, but he did more than Gordon. Probably on a level, on par with Barnes perhaps, but Will Osula was like, right, I'm going to run here. So he was bright, and maybe that's his position next season. Maybe it's not a striker, maybe it is a right winger. Newcastle will have to strengthen up front now. It seems that Callum Wilson has departed the club, but yeah, I thought he was bright, just rawness, loved it. Scared Everton a little bit, but yeah, a 7 for me. And then we go to Eddie Howe. Obviously the Champions League, I'm not scoring him on qualifying for the Champions League. That's for a different video next week. Scoring him today on the 1-0 defeat. Just park the Champions League that we've qualified to one side. Today, if this was earlier in the season, we would have twisted about, you should have done this, should have done that. You did try and move tweak the formation. Maybe I would have liked to see Isak up top of Callum Wilson. Why not? We looked a little bit vulnerable on the counter going forward. When Everton were in behind us, so a little bit vulnerable, getting stretched with the likes of, we haven't really got much pace with the likes of Trippier, Shea, Burn towards the end. But you know, he tried, but we got beat at home against Everton. That's not a good result, let's be honest. But in the grand scheme of things, we're qualified for Champions League, so you've got to think like that. But just judging it on today alone, for me, Pickford had to come up with a few saves. He did try and tweak it. I'm going to score Eddie Howe a 6 based on today. He didn't just keep it the way it was. He did try and change the formation. My only criticism, as I say, I would have liked to see the 2 strikers up top. But we've been beaten at Everton. We haven't scored against Everton this season, which is alarming. But you know what? We're in the Champions League, baby. We're in the Champions League. Absolutely incredible, and it's class, and I just love it that we are away to Germany, Italy, Spain, France, you name it, next season. But Newcastle, of course, these scoring the players are just judged on today alone. But after all of that, who cares? And I used to kind of say that in the comments, who cares, we're in the Champions League? But I have to do this video. But yeah, more coming later here on Newcastle Fans TV. Drop us a like. Hope you like this view. Absolutely beautiful St James's Park. But we love yous and leave yous. Is this the way to Barcelona?